Charles.
Good morning. Please stand. I would ask that Mr. Harwell lead us in prayer and the pledge.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for today, God. And I ask you to, God, to be with us today. God, give us wisdom. God, give us understanding of the business of the school system. I ask you to be with our superintendents, the staff, our teachers, our students, God, as summer comes. God, I ask you to watch over and protect them. I ask you to be with the people in Texas, God. Such a horrible thing, God, but I ask you to be with them, God. God, that you would comfort them, God, that you would be with them. Be with their school system, God. Be with these families, God, these brothers and sisters and moms and dads, God. Just somehow be with them, God. I ask you to comfort them somehow, God, and give them hope. God, I ask you to be with the Atchison family, God, and the lost. I ask you to be with them. God, I ask you to be with the young student at Sims at Allentown Elementary, God, that's facing cancer and treatment, God. I just ask you to be with them, God. And again, God, I just ask you to protect us, God, protect our country, God. Be with those people that are out, our first responders, God, that's watching over this country, God. And God, again, I just ask for wisdom with our school system, God, for all the things that's going on in our country, God. Be with Mr. Gatewood and his staff, God, as they help protect our kids, God. I just ask you to be with them. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes, Charles is.
This meeting, 5/25/2022, the Board of School Commissioners will come to order at this time. Do I have a motion for approval of the minutes?
So moved.
It's been moved and properly seconded to approve the minutes. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Mr. Superintendent, were there any additions to the agenda items?
Yes, sir, we have two. If you will look at action item G1, we have the State Examiner of Public Accounts for 2021, an audit presentation. And also action item G19, we have the hunting lease renewal. We have 38 hunting leases that's listed before you. These hunting leases will be renewed for 5 years, starting June 1st of 2022. That's action item G19 and action item G1.
Thank you. Okay, gentlemen and ladies, you've heard the additions, modifications to the action items. Do I have a motion that we will accept the agenda as
Amended.
approved?
Mr. President, offer motion we accept the agenda as amended by the superintendent.
It's been moved and properly seconded to accept the agenda as amended. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any announcements? We'll start with Mr. Stringfellow.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I really appreciate Mr. Harwell's prayer this morning because of the terrible event that occurred in Texas yesterday. It's a horrible thing, and it seems to be happening way too often. And I certainly hope our leaders and others we can find a solution to this kind of problem, because we're losing the very best of us here. So I do appreciate Mr. Harwell's prayers, because I support that completely.
Dr. Crenshaw.
Mr. President, I spoke with the superintendent briefly about the idea of what has happened not only in Texas but in the other cities around the country with these mass shootings. And at one time, about 4 or 5 years ago, I objected to arming our resource officers. So I'm going to ask the superintendent to get with our resource officer director and come up with a policy or procedure to look into the possibility of arming our resource officers. I think we're just at the point now that we need to take all means necessary, safe as possible to prepare our resource officer for similar attack. And again, I just want the superintendent, if he would research it along with Mr. Gatewood and come back with a policy or recommendation or something, because we've been blessed that we have not had incident, but we just never know when. And I think we need to be prepared by all means necessary. So if you're looking at and bring it back at whatever time, you have something ready to recommend to the board.
I'd certainly second that.
I certainly support that also, Dr. Crenshaw.
No, sir, thank you.
Anything?
I'm just gonna let you do it.
No, I'm not. No. Go ahead. It's okay.
How do you want to talk about Mayor Montgomery?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you do it this time.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you. Dr.
Go on, team,
Foster
go on,
usually is the sports announcer for our board, but just want to congratulate Mayor Montgomery's girls softball and their win. And they did beat a couple of schools in District 5 after being beat by schools in District 5. That I got a call and they talked about, very abrupt call that let me know. But anyway, I don't want to say much about that, but they'll be here in our next board meeting. We'll be able to meet them and celebrate that with them, but I am proud of our girls softball team. Thank you, Doc.
You're welcome.
I just like it better when you admit the loss. But he did that the other day, but he didn't want to do it today on the camera, but that's a.
No, I congratulated Mayor Montgomery the other day. Look, I spent 9 of my years in Sims. I love the Sims area. It's just simply that way. But I did congratulate them the other day, and then normally I give Mr. Harwell a hard time if one of my schools beats one of his schools, and he does the same thing for me. But the other day I admitted, fessed up right here in front of the board and everybody, that MGM did much better in the regional tournament than anybody else did and qualified for the state tournament. I'm certainly proud of them because, once again, I devoted 9 years of my life to the Sims area out there. I'd just like to add one thing to some things that have been said. You know what? Frequently in this country, we talk about peripheral issues, things that are not going to make a whole lot of difference one way or the other. We fail a lot of times to focus on the kinds of things that are going to make a difference for others. Every time we have a board meeting, or just about every time we have a board meeting, we are acknowledging some of our students and/or some of our teachers for the achievements that they have. They're exceptional. Now, we'll do that again today. It does my heart good to see that. Nowhere do you read about it else, other than maybe in something that the school system produces. But the bottom line is that we have young men and young ladies in this school system who receive millions and millions of dollars in scholarships. Millions. That's a tribute to their parents, to those children, and to those teachers who teach them every day, to those schools that make them welcome every day. We never hear anything about that. Going to hear about the peripheral issues. This thing that happened in Texas, it'll be big news for a few days. Where's it going to go? It's going to go to where everything else went, on the back burner. The issues in this country are too great for us to deal with peripheral issues that amount to really nothing. What you do, young men and young ladies here, and the parents who are here with them, and the teachers who are here with, we want you to know that we appreciate that deeply. And we want you to know that we're proud of you and that your accomplishments don't just make you feel good and your parents feel good, they make us feel good as a school system as well. God bless you, and I hope that you have a really wonderful day today and vacation this summer if any of you are going to be able to do that. And those of you that may be going to college or universities or whatever, much success to you there as well. Okay, reports and recognitions.
we're recognizing 2 schools today, multiple students from those schools who've done some fantastic things on the state and national level. So first, I'd like to call forward Dr. Foster, Mr. Peru, and the representatives of Baker High School's culinary program. If you'll stand up.
Bring any food.
Mobile County Public Schools sponsored 5 teams to compete in Disney's Cook Around the World culinary competition in Orlando, and one of our schools won 3 awards. Baker High School's team competed in the Africa category, making quinoa topped with savory grilled pork with a drizzled spicy coconut milk. It was served with a side of roasted African corn. This dish won first place side dish, first place main dish, both in that category, as well as second place overall. The students are, will you raise your hand if you're here when I say your name? Cody Blaswick, Sophie Rains, Mary Miller, Charlotte King, Trinity Seabrook, Brianna Couture, and Susan Hoffman. Also, their teachers and sponsors are Peggy McGallagher and Tiffany Morgan.
Thank you, Renee, and on behalf of the board, and particularly on behalf of Dr. Foster himself, you know, I really, I think out of all of the clubs, all of the teams, I would prefer visiting the culinary team more so than any of the others, even though my grandson plays baseball in Baker. And so anytime that, you know, you need somebody to experiment on, do not hesitate to call me because it's a short drive. I want to tell you we're proud of you. We're proud of the teachers. We're proud of our administration at Baker and those people who support what it is that we do, that you do, and that your school does. I'm going to give these certificates to your teachers and let them distribute them because some of you are some are not here today, I understand. But we want you to know that this award is to each of you for the Cook Around World Culinary Competition. And it's signed by the superintendent and by each of the board members. Each of the board members and the superintendent and I are certainly proud of you, and thank you so much.
Congratulations. Next time, bring a sample. All right, now I'll call forward Mr. Harwell, Ashley Daigle, Cheryl Stroud, and the students from Mary G. Montgomery High School. Students from Mary G. Montgomery High School performed very well in state competitions this year. Senior Sarah Knight, raise your hand, placed first in 3D animation at the Future Business Leaders of America's State Leadership Conference for her Biomedical Academy project. She will compete at the FBLA's National Conference in Chicago this summer. And Miss Ashley Daigle is her teacher and advisor. Also, students, and if I say your name, raise your hand. Braxton Fuller, Benjamin Ross, Preston Vardaman, and Avery Webb teamed up and won first place in the statewide 2022 Cyber Cup competitions. Cyber Cup, excuse me. For that competition, students are challenged to perform tasks that a cybersecurity professional would do, such as decryption, programming, and computer networking. Also, students Michael Hofflick, Lydia Stroud, and Jose Wheeler teamed up to win second place in the state. So they took first and second place honors. And Mrs. Cheryl Stroud is their teacher and advisor. So congratulations.
On behalf of the board, we congratulate y'all. I have no idea what all that means. If I can't get on my phone, I have to get Luke So are we teaching them how to break in or break out? Or we teach them to break in?
I think it's to stop them from breaking in.
So y'all can see, Mr. Gatewood and some of our people, we appreciate that. I'm gonna give Ms. Daigle these and let her give them out. But again, from the board, we appreciate it, and, thanks for representing MGM.
And I do want to acknowledge in the audience, Danielle Booth and Juanita Veal are here, and they're with the Career Technical Education Department. Thank you.
I'd like to acknowledge something at this point in time while Ms. Daigle is handing out the awards. During the 9 years I spent at Sims, Ms. Daigle was one of my students out there. I was principal, and she was exceptional. I still remember her from those days, and she's an outstanding teacher, and I'm very proud of her. I want her to know that, and I want everybody else to know it right now. I know she won't want me to say something like that, but I'll say it anyway. Ashley, we're proud of you.
Give him space.
Okay, do we have any speakers today?
No,
Mr.
sir.
Superintendent?
No, sir.
Okay. So let's move on. Well, we'll give them time to leave if they'd like to leave early, and I would if I could too, okay? I want you to know that, but I can't. You can stay if you like, or you can leave if you like. It's up to you. All right, Mr. Superintendent, the action items.
Yes, sir. We'll begin with action item G1 with our audit presentation. At this time, I'll call Lori and her guest up to Brian to give the audit presentation.
Good morning. I appreciate y'all giving us a place on the agenda this morning. I'm with the Examiners of Public Accounts, and we're here to present your audit report in accordance with the School Fiscal Accountability Act that we do each year. This is for the time period October 1st, 2020 through September 30th, 2021. The report is available in its entirety on our website at www.examiners.alabama.gov. It was just published this past Friday, May the 20th. The audit was conducted in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards and government auditing standards for the purposes of issuing an opinion on your financial statements and to determine whether the board complied with applicable laws and regulations. We also conducted an audit of your federal financial assistance programs in accordance with uniform guidance. For this year, we issued unmodified opinions for the board's financial statements. This means the financial statements are presented fairly in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. We also noted no matters to indicate that the board had not complied in all material respects with applicable laws and regulations. Also issued unmodified opinion on your federal financial assistance programs. For the year, we tested Special Education Cluster, the COVID-19 Education Stabilization Fund, and the COVID-19 Coronavirus Relief Fund. So what all that means was it was a clean audit, no findings, no problems. And so I'd also like to thank Lori and all the staff here for their cooperation each year and their patience with us. I'm sure nobody likes to see the auditors coming, but we have, I think, a good relationship with the staff, and we appreciate the cooperation. So thank you.
On behalf of the board, congratulations to our staff. We certainly appreciate that excellent audit. We've had excellent audits for quite some time now, and we're very pleased with the fact that we're constantly under audits. We're being audited all the time, but it's exceptional that our system has such clean audits.
Right. Great. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm leaving early too. So.
All right, that was action item G1. the state examiner presentation for 2021. I ask the board to approve action item G1.
Do I hear a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded to approve agenda item 1. All in favor, any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, on to action item G2, the Reading and Language Arts Center for Brain Spring, to retain the services of reading and language arts, to deliver a customized professional development for Phonics First. That's coming out of federal funds, ESSER funds, for $365,575. I ask that you approve action item G2, Reading and Language Arts Center, Brain Spring.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
inasmuch as these items were vetted in our previous work session, I offer motion we approve action items 2 through 23, 2 through 20 through 20. 2 through 20.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
We need to address the hunting leases. Hunting leases is G19, that's a new item.
Oh, okay. We'll do it through 18.
So what was wrong with the motion?
It covered 19, which is a new item.
So we need to do that one separate, right?
But we accepted the agenda with the amendments.
Yeah, it was, yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
already-
we accepted the agenda with the amendment. So that means all the 4 items there are ready to be acted on.
correct.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind pulling it back. I'm just saying, we accepted the agenda as an amended. That's an amended item, so,
Considered to be a contract, but I think it needs to be approved. I'd feel better about it. It's a technical matter.
that's what I said, action items 2 through 20 to be approved.
Okay.
Okay,
No,
you want me to include it or take it out or put it in? Which
No,
one you want to do?
that was good.
Action item 2 through 18.
Okay, that's good. Second.
Y'all take that outside.
Okay.
I want to keep the attorney happy.
All right,
Action
action
items
item.
2 through 18.
right, okay, action item
Okay, and we
19.
heard a second on that. All in, any further discussion? Hopefully not. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, action item G19, hunting leases. I asked, there are 38 hunting leases to be renewed on June 1st, 2022. We have 38 of them for a 5-year lease. They're listed in front of you. I ask that you approve action item G19, hunting leases.
So move, we approve action item G19, hunting license, all of them as listed.
Do I hear a second?
I second.
Been moved and properly seconded to approve the hunting leases, all of them. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by,
I would like to say something about this.
okay, I'm sorry.
I want to just let the board know that Dr. Foster and myself, Mr. Anderson, and Mr. Scarborough,
Where's the map?
we had an opportunity to
It's
talk
not.
about the hunting leases in a committee meeting. And just want to let everybody know we've got some changes coming to help protect those leases with the people that have them. And some things that Mr. Anderson's going to be doing to make this a better process for everybody that has our lease along with the board. Appreciate them working on that.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not.
I would ask too that, while we're on this, before we vote on it, we'd ask that the amount of each of those be put along the side, remember? And
Why would you say that?
I'm not seeing it necessarily.
I don't
but,
have it in mind.
Okay. If y'all would, do that and then provide it back, just send it as an email to the board, if you would. And, just go ahead and add something on, I know how much.
Another column
it's like
of the prices.
$7 an acre, correct? Okay. And then just extrapolate that to the side, if you would, for us, and,
Yeah.
and send it to us. But otherwise, do we need to do anything else with regard to the leases, or can it go forward?
Gonna call for the question.
Okay. All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, Mr. Superintendent?
All right, action item G20, cancellation of supplemental pay that we do every year. So I ask that you approve action item G20 for cancellation of supplemental pay.
Do I hear a motion on action item 20?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I move for approval, action items G20 through 33. Dr. Crenshaw.
The board consider pulling the termination
24.
notice, which is I think it's in 24 and 25, in reference to the Davidson and the Flow personnel matter for further discussion, if that's all right.
That's, which action item was that?
24 and 20
24 and 25?
Yeah.
I think that's where
25.
you find the request on the individual at Davidson and the individual at LaFleur.
Okay.
All right, so that's,
Suspensions.
Yeah, that's not G24 and G25.
Where are they found?
The suspensions look like they're on,
this is
22?
Yeah,
recommendation.
Okay, I knew they was in 24 or 25, so 22?
So it's just 22?
the suspensions, yeah, we combined them both.
Okay,
It's not
so,
24 and 25, it's 20.
so it's just 22?
Yeah.
So we want to just pull 22, Mr. Superintendent,
Okay.
for further discussion.
All right, so I will give the amended recommendation here that we approve action items 20 through 33, with 22 being pulled.
And I'll second the amendment.
Okay, we have that?
Yes.
Okay. The motion is to approve items 20 through 33 with item 22 being pulled. Is there any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Mr. Superintendent?
Yes, sir. On to the consent agenda. We have H1 of Coastal Makers for E.R. Dixon Elementary School. It's a revision that's coming out of ARP funds for $3,150.
Dr. Foster, I ask for approve, H1 through, H15.
a second.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded to approve items,
H.
the consent agenda items 1 through 15, which we previously
Did it?
vetted and read thoroughly. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Mr. Superintendent, student expulsions?
Yes, sir. Student expulsions, I1 through I-16 will be listed under separate cover. Those are the expulsions, student expulsions, I-1 through 16.
Do I hear a motion with regard to student expulsions?
Mr. Chairman, I move for approval of I-1 through 16.
Been moved and properly seconded to approve student expulsion items 1 through 16.
Yes,
Any
sir.
further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Mr. Superintendent, information?
Yes, J1 for information items will be monthly financial statements, along with J2, purchase orders over 5,000, over 5,000 that are listed.
Okay, those are the information items. Mr. Attorney?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we still have the need for approval of the 2 agreed-to suspensions I discussed with the board Monday. That's a math teacher and a bus driver.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
offer motion we concur with the recommendation of the attorney on the 2 said employees.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded to concur with regard to the proposed suspensions. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Mr. Superintendent, scheduling of meetings?
Yes, sir. We need to,
Board?
yes, we need to come up with a date before June 30th for whole board training. So I will need some dates or a time of the week that would be good for everyone to participate in whole board training. I know Fridays are not good for Mr. Harwell,
Never.
so we'll scratch Friday off. And Saturdays and Sundays aren't good for me, so we'll scratch those two off as well. So any day of the week?
Want to remind the superintendent that we have the board summer retreat. That's for our credits. It's going to be at Orange Beach. That's on the 16th through the 18th of the middle of June, like that. So that would be out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's, I think there's a Friday in there too, which Mr. Harwell wouldn't be around for anyway.
Actually, yes, sir. But that Thursday before is not required. It's just I think it's the 15th. No, excuse me, that's the 17th. I take it back.
All right, I would ask, thank you, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Stringfellow, I would ask that the board look at their calendars and this afternoon have a couple of dates prior to the board conference in Gulf Shores or Orange Beach or somewhere in Baldwin County, wherever it is, and and 2 dates after that, so that we have a little flexibility there in terms of and let him know this afternoon. Is that okay with everybody?
Yes, sir. Just absent Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Don't worry about those, right?
Yeah, well,
Oh, I just pick a date and y'all just have to come.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I would prefer.
that you pick a date
Yeah,
and we show up.
Yes.
That's even better.
okay, all right.
Okay.
Problem solved.
That's it.
And I think, Mr. Superintendent, that you mentioned we may have to have at least
Special
one
call.
special call meeting
Yes, sir.
sometime over the course of the days between now and our next board meeting.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I'll be scheduling that as well. As soon
Okay.
as the advertisements run out and we have enough candidates to have a board meeting for.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, do I hear a motion with regard to adjournment?
So moved.
Been moved and properly seconded. I don't think anyone has an objection. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Thank you very much.